welcome to Not Safe for Work Magic. My name is Gravity Groove, and today I want to talk a little bit about Planeswalkers. So, here on this channel, we make content that centers around how this game is kind of heavily dependent on RNG. And while there are certain strategies, a lot of those strategies are degenerate and fucking boring. This problem starts, well, not necessarily with Planeswalkers, but it's definitely compounded by Planeswalkers. So I thought about how I could explain this problem to people adequately, and the idea of two fires came to me. So we're all familiar with 2-for-1s, right? A great example of a 2-for-1 is the Bone Crusher. If you manage to use its shock to destroy an enemy creature, and then your opponent has to use a removal spell to get rid of it, or you block a creature of theirs and trade, you've gotten 2 cards worth of value out of your 1 card. A 2-for-1, right? Back to Planeswalkers. Well, most Planeswalkers do something when they come down. So Teferi draws a card and bounces a thing, arguably generating 3 cards worth of value. Nissa generates a creature and doubles mana. Sarkhan makes a dragon, etc., etc., etc. They all tend to have an effect like that. So 2 fires, right? The Planeswalker is a threat. The Planeswalker is a fire. When the Planeswalker has an action on top of it representing a threat, it starts 2 fires. Now, in order to combat this in a reasonable fashion and maintain competitive, we need cards that answer 2 problems. We need cards like Kolaghan's Command. If you can shock the Teferi and make them discard a card, 2 fires, extinguished. But if you cast Bedevil, you only put out 1 fire, and eventually your opponent is going to win off the back of all of that value inequity. We don't have answers in Magic the Gathering in the current generation that are as effective or even reasonably effective as Planeswalkers are powerful. If there was a fixed Kolaghan's Command, a standard power Kolaghan's Command that was 4 mana, say 2, 1 red and 1 black, that would be fine. Instead, we get E2 Extinction. Not good enough. You need cards that deal with 2 fires. We only have 1 bucket, so we never get to answer Planeswalkers fairly. What are some other examples of metrics or designs we could use to combat the Planeswalker 2 fires problem? Well, I already said that if we had maybe a 4 mana spell, like instead of Carnival Carnage, say you had something that said destroy target Planeswalker, deal 3 damage to target anything. So if Nissa gets played for 5 mana, you can kill the forest, kill the Nissa, you're even. You didn't get ahead, maybe by 1 mana, maybe they can make it cost 5 if you want to get technical. And they didn't get ahead. They started 2 fires, you had 2 buckets. As it is now, they cast Nissa, you remove 1 permanent, you still lose. So a deck with 16 Planeswalkers creates a real problem. Narset's another good example. Narset comes down, immediately replaces itself. You have to answer Narset if you have any card draw in your deck. If you don't, it immediately draws another card. 3 fires. The removal we get, 1 bucket. How are we going to fix this problem in the long term of the game? I don't think we are. I think the game has very slowly over the last 1.5 years or so, become Hearthstone. And I say that because I'm trying to play Hearthstone, and I'm seeing all the things I don't like in Magic echoed and repeated endlessly in Hearthstone. It's just about playing the most linear, powerful, broken effects, and not about interaction in any way, shape, or form. Interaction is weaker. Interaction is insufficient to deal with the power level of the threats. And it doesn't appear to be changing. Threats have gotten stickier, more evasive, more powerful. They've gotten escape. Planeswalkers have continued to be out of control fucking powerful. And I'll point to the egregious printing of Oko and to Fairy. 3 Fairy is still a fucking ridiculous, absurd, broken piece of shit. So is Nissa. These cards shouldn't fucking exist. There were and are fair Planeswalkers. Sorin is a great example. Very narrow. Does what he does really well. Old Jace that was like 3 mana Scry 2 or like, relatively weak. That was fine. The new Chandra, the 3 mana Chandra. That's completely reasonable. Makes 2 1/1s. Occasionally flashes back a spell. Low loyalty. That's totally fine. A lot of these Planeswalkers are just not fucking fine. But again, they wouldn't be a problem if card design in Wizards thought about making an answer every time they made a threat. When they designed Oko, what the fuck were they thinking was the answer? Tell me. I want to know. One of you Wizards design team assholes. Come at me. Let me know. What the fuck were you thinking? When they designed Teferi, what was the answer? The fuck were you thinking? No good answers here. And if Magic was designed with that in mind, okay, we've got this great threat, this really powerful card, it's really pushed. What's a reasonable answer to it? How can our opponents interact with it? Is it just going to be the best thing to do in the game for the rest of the time the game exists? And if so, should we consider better options? What was the fucking thinking behind Thassa and Heliod? What are the answers? 90% of the fucking enchantment hate doesn't work. 90% of the exile creature removal doesn't work because the things never fucking animate. The one goddamn card I found that does the job is Libation, and that's only if your opponent doesn't have a shit fuck ton of other enchantments. What was their intended answer to these cards? If they became big, what was their answer? They don't fucking think. They don't think about the answers. They don't think about what the fuck the opponent is supposed to do. They don't think about how the game can be designed to be, okay, you play a Planeswalker, okay, I have an answer, okay, you play this thing, maybe I play this thing. And the decisions that happen in those interactions make the game exciting, make the game skill deep. Without those interactions, it's fucking war. It's literally flipping high cards off a fucking deck. Oh, you got an ace? I got a 2. I guess you win. Oh, I got a 7. You got a 5. I guess I win. High scale! Bullshit. You should and can do better. Fucking sick of this shit. Disappointed in y'all. So the 2 fires problem has been illustrated remarkably well in the fact that we have laryngitis. And that none of our answers put out 2 fires. With perhaps Elder Spell being a pseudo exception. They play a Planeswalker, I bedevil it, I lose. They play a Planeswalker, I eat to extinction it, I lose. They play a Planeswalker, I Storm's Wrath it. Occasionally I'm even. Most of the time I lose. The only 1-for-1 interaction for Planeswalkers is fucking discard. And it's very narrow and doesn't stop a top deck. So it kind of sucks. This is why the decks we play are not decks we advocate that other people try unless you want to, basically play on hard mode. The best way to play this game is play all the broken cards, play 83 Planeswalkers in every fucking deck, and just win because the game's designed that way. They want you to spend all of your money on Mythic cards and have those Mythic cards always be better than everything else. Just play the Mythic cards and win. Just give them all your money and win. Just pay to win. Just pay to win. Just pay to fucking win. Don't be good at the game. don't practice the game, don't think about the game, don't understand probabilities about the game, don't look at the game as a tactical experience. Just pay to win, you dumb fucks. So our set yesterday illustrated this premise really well. We're going to play one or two, and then we're going to try to do something pseudo-productive. We're going to go look at spoilers, and maybe make some... You can't do hot coffee with lemon and honey in it, can you? Just fucking grumble our way through card evaluations. Again, talking has been fucking painful today, but I still got to do it. I got something to say. Man, remember when we were 550 in Mythic? I guess. I have a 2-drop and a potential several looks for land. Okay. Castle. Castle's still not an untapped land for us for 3, so... I'd like an untapped land for 3 if we can swing it, but... So either Adventures or Reclamation. Probably Reclamation, because we hate Reclamation. Thassa, Expansion, Chemistry's Insight. I mean, you take the card that wins, right? Damn it. They're the balance version. Reclamation plus Uro. Guess we don't need that now. Couldn't hit the right lands there. So now all we can do is cast a spell into Calls the Dead. Which I guess we will. What do we want to get countered? Wow, we've drawn like nothing but land several 100,000 turns in a row. Well, at least we have Castle. Eventually we can start drawing cards. The card we care about resolving most, of course, is Calls the Dead, so... I have to deal with Uro pretty soon here. Man, we're just drawing all the dead cards, huh? So we probably just draw a card here, rather than playing into their counter magic. This matchup isn't really about life totals. Most of the time we can't win game 1. We have 4 libations to bring in, which will help considerably, but most of the time we just can't win game 1. This is probably a forest, right? Sometimes they have Night Pack Ambush or main deck. Interesting. We're going to see a big intervention here. Obviously, we haven't found our key card, which is Croxa, and we haven't been able to resolve Calls the Dead. Jeez. Probably lets that go because of Storm's Wrath, but it does flip us towards potential Croxes. Of course, as we know on the show, we are not lucky. We're smart enough to acknowledge why the decks fail, and that playing the broken cards is the best way to play, but it's also fucking boring. I mean, I beat Dark Souls with just the Cestus. I think I'm a sadist. This does not seem like a good use of time in general. We're about 100% to lose this matchup. Jesus. Jesus. Okay, I give up. It's the fucking luck of the dead. Draw nothing but land, miss full twice on Timerat. Good shit there. So... and Bedevil for the doggos that they will bring in. I think we cut a... I do a brazen. Just shave some stuff here. Maybe we don't want that many Bedevils. fairly reasonable hand. Got Mire Triton on 2, or Kroxa on 2, Ashiok on 3. I think we want to get a threat down though. Deck has a lot of counter magic. Hoping we don't get quenched here. That would hurt.
Behold my epilogue of fear.
Wouldn't surprise me to get Storms on turn 4 here though. Which means we're not playing out the second Mire Triton. No luck.
Is my masterpiece.
Could see a Scorching Dragonfire here. No Storm's Wrath yet. Yeah, I think we just go for that first. If he has to use a counterspell here, that's great. Pretty effective.
Dream big, vigorous. Why? You. I'll return where you slumber.
Lost another libation, not great. Drew the Kroxa we wanted to mill.
You strike. Your final
Struggling a little bit here.
is upon you.
Gonna cast Mire no matter what now, because we can just bring back the Ox if we're out of cards. Looks like we won this one pretty handily. Now there's absolutely nothing they can do to win. Kroxa being recurred even if they kill it. Guarantees they die to discard. Don't know why they're still playing. Okay. Lots of Scorching Dragonfire still, huh? Seems pretty marginal for us. You gotta have it in hand, and you gotta have open mana right when they play Uro the first time, and we just often don't. This is more of an anti-aggro card for us. Our better plan against Uro is just Agonizing Remorses, or of course Ashiok. We haven't seen any Nisses or Teferis, or not Teferis, just Nisses, out of our opponent's deck, so I think I'm fine with having a lower Bedevil count. Didn't draw any Duresses or Agonizing Remorses. I hope we do this game. I wonder if I should have Dreadhorde Butchers in the sideboard here for these matchups against these Dirtle decks. Beautiful. Now we're talking. Got 3 discards in hand. I like it. Got a Libation as well. Double expansion, Thassa's Intervention. Sure. Hit me. Fabled Passage. I think we'll leave that. Getting up to 5 or 6 mana is pretty good with this deck usually. Oh man, he topped the Thassa's Intervention. Lucky bastard. We're probably just casting a spell at any target we can this turn. He gave us no targets. Yeah, not punished. Let's see if he has an answer. Gone through 2 Thassa's Interventions. If he has anything, it's probably an Aether Gust. Can also obviously bounce this with Brazen Borrower. But we're fine getting a couple cards out of his hand at the cost. Double Scorch and Dragonfire? Shit. Alright, now it's getting real. Only 4 escape targets left in our deck, and we've drawn 3 land in a row. Things are looking bad for our hero. They've got a Scry land, and we've not got any lands to do anything. Okay. I'll take that. It's an Uro. We're in problematic waters, aren't we? He's flooding out too. God damn it. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, not drawing anything but land here. Felt like I had a commanding board presence for a while, but giving them too much time to catch up. Too many looks. The Uros, we are 100% eating it. Let's get rid of the threat and, of course, for the Scry. Sure. A lot of potential card draw. Don't think it's what we're looking for, though. That's what we're looking for. That's a land, you're dead. Well, broke his plan. See, if we kept that swamp, that the castle, and drew, we wouldn't have had enough land to play and recur Kroxa. So that decision was actually the linchpin of victory. That's how narrow it is. The deck is much easier to beat after the 4 libations, but still a pretty annoying deck. I think the version with Night Pack is better than the version with Uro. Especially against us, since we kind of play anti-Uro cards in the main anyway. The decks that have been beating us have been the mono Planeswalker decks, which, you know, as they should, because 2 fires. 1 bedevil. Golgon's command, it ain't. If they're aggro, this is a pretty respectable hand. If they're not, kind of sucks. If they're Soul Die control, it's pretty middling too. Okay. Thought Erasure, Aether Gust. Remorse doesn't matter that much right now, but I mean, I guess getting Aether Gust going protects future Croxa. Doesn't feel very impactful though. Right now I've got an Eat for the first Cavalier. Now the fun begins.
You will be haunted by this tool.
Don't you get this on me. Don't you top deck this on me. Hydroid Chrysasis. Now the question is, do we want a Croxa here and lose the Crisis? I think we need to get as much value out of this Ashy Boy as possible.
Your lap. Behold, my victory was but a dream.
Only one Bedevil left. We've lost a lot of our primary kill spells. Just Casualties of War? Now the top deck missing.
I will aid you.
Yeah. Two fires. You're gonna watch as we answer one. Lose to the pressure generated by the remaining. Sure.
Only a fool. An unfortunate casualty.
Still haven't found a fifth land. Basically get time walked out of my next two turns because I have to use my removal to answer both Vraska and Nissa. While again, Vraska is drawing cards, creating more threats, creating more fires. The thing we have only answers one. The Crocs is in the bin, but they don't matter. Had we Croxed, our opponent just would have likely Nissa'd and then destroyed our Croxa with Tyrant Scorn anyway. so this doesn't change regardless of our move there.
Sacrifices must be made.
Yeah.
From
One turn away from alting that. Still can't draw land to be able to double spell. All this amounts to is discard one against an opponent with 5 cards in hand and infinite threats. 6 cards in hand and infinite threats. Yeah. Too many fires for one bucket. Too many fires for one bucket. Okay, so Storm doesn't kill Nissa. Storm doesn't kill Vraska. They both uptick to 6. Ritual kills Forest, Hydra, Crisis, and Oko. So I guess I can stay. More Planeswalker hate. Don't think we want an Elder Spell. I don't know if they run Narset now too, but it's hard to say. Maybe they do. I think I'll have this be the last one. I want to keep them short today so I can get to looking at the spoilers. See if I can make any sense out of anything. Are we glitching out again? Well, we've got Mire Triton. I mean, I guess it's something. Need a lot to go right for this to work out. Probably takes Calls the Dead. Unless he's got a handful of Planeswalkers. Doesn't matter what he takes because we're never going to draw land. We know ourselves. We know what we're about on this channel. It's breaking and dying. Well, one more mountain and then we're live for Crocs again. Oh, phone call. Hello. Not much. You are on an internet stream now because I am live. Yeah. Yeah. So what's going on? Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. No, that's fine. All right, later on, man. Bye. That was Dylan. Croxer or Mire Triton? Just keep applying pressure. No, we lost all of our epic downfalls. Guess we're just getting early next turn. Need to draw a red source in order to Croxa, but we probably won't. The land is the pitch here. Okay. Oh, sure, because he gives him another card for Uro. I guess. I mean, he already had enough. So we've lost 2 of our epic downfalls. Eat to extinction without a 4th mana. Typical. So we're going to end it there. I don't know that we're going to be playing a lot more Mythic ranked. Doesn't feel like it's going anywhere positive. Doesn't feel like even there's any excitement to be had of trying to claw through this shit show. And I'm not interested in playing the garbage boring cards that all these fuckers are playing. So we're going to figure out a different plan or a different deck, or perhaps just play some unranked formats or some draft, because I want to keep playing, but this just ain't where it's at. Thanks for watching, and perhaps later today or tomorrow we'll be able to put up a spoiler stream that talks about some of the new cards, their potential values, my dumbass idea at evaluations, which evaluating cards is insanely fucking hard. Let's be realistic. None of us really understand the context they're going to be implemented in yet, and we're gonna do some shooting from the hip, as we are wont to do. Thanks for watching, and I will see you some other time. Keep your thumbs up. Later.